Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has been snubbed once again.
Oh,
He has missed out on securing an official meeting with Donald Trump during his time in New York for the UN General Assembly. I mean, what a joke this is. How embarrassing is this for Australia? It's interesting listening to the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt kind of confirming that Trump will be holding bilateral meetings, of course, with Zelensky, with European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen, with Javier Milei, leaders of Qatar, leaders of Saudi Arabia, Indonesia, Turkey, UAE, Jordan. Not our Prime Minister. And why would Donald Trump make the time? I mean, and it says so much about the
he should make the time. I mean, he should make the time. He should make the time, because Australia is an important part of the American security architecture in the Pacific. There's real reasons why we really should be having leader-to-leader meetings. And it's really bad, and it's a great discredit to Albanese that we are not having those leader-to-leader talks. I think it's a really, dangerous situation. But for the prime minister and the president, in a weird sort of way, this is kind of good for both of them because neither one of them, I think, really wanted this
to meet each
meeting,
other.
particularly not a play. Albanese, the last thing he wants, it's not going to go well. He's going to look weak. He could get told off for any number of things, whether it's, having an e-safety commissioner or having, weak defense spending or whatever, so there's a million ways to go wrong for him. And for Trump, it's a meeting with somebody who he's going to have to, if they do meet, say something bad about potentially, about an ally. So it's bad for him. It's just too messy all around. But I think neither one of them really wanted to. And, for Albanese, he's done this sort of studious avoidance of Trump. And sometimes he's gotten lucky and now he's just, I think by avoiding and by, poking the bear of Palestine and all the other things so much, why would Trump meet him? Why would Trump meet him? And that's exactly the outcome he wanted. He didn't want to meet with Trump, and that's what he got.
Oh, look, I think I would love that meeting to happen so Donald Trump could, give him a piece of his mind, I guess.
Leader meeting.
Wouldn't it be brilliant to see?
Meeting with a good leader, with a real leader who understands, that our best interests are with the United States, not with China. And that's what we need in this country. But we're stuck with this for the next 2.5 years.
I know. And it's so depressing, isn't it, that just yesterday, Anthony Albanese defended Australia's recognition of a Palestinian state just hours after footage was released showing Hamas publicly executing 3 men. So this is at the same time this was happening. Anthony Albanese was formally recognising Palestinian statehood. And again, it just shows, I suppose, where Australia's loyalty is, and it's not with Israel.
Well, I mean, this is so bad because it's like you can have legitimate grievances. I know some people have legitimate grievances with the way Israel has conducted itself in Gaza. That's fine. But it's like you don't, divorce somebody over this one particular thing. There's a long history here that will have to keep going on. There's a lot of different elements to that relationship, including, again, an important security relationship, an intelligence sharing relationship, which is really important. And to, throw a bomb in this metaphorically by, recognizing Palestine and annoying everybody, it doesn't help anybody. But, this is the undergraduate student politics of Anthony Albanese. He's wanted to do this forever, so like he was going to do it. And he doesn't care, and he's rewarded Hamas, and Hamas now thinks like, oh, this is great. We kill a bunch of people, we blow up a bunch of people, we rape a bunch of people, we act, like the worst savages imaginable. And hey, look, we're gonna get a state. How good? It's a joke, Gab.
Yeah,
Come on.
It is such a joke. It's disgusting, and I don't think Anthony Albanese, after doing that, deserves a meeting with Donald Trump, even though it does need to happen, and it's very sad for Australia that this is the state that we're in now, and that the US doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with us anymore. Now, James Morrow, I have to ask you, of course, about some lighter news, but just some pretty big news, of course, that Disney has caved. Jimmy Kimmel is now returning. So after lying about the most high-profile assassination since the 60s, being suspended for a week, lefties absolutely losing it. We saw Hollywood celebrities kind of in tears, protesters out taking to the streets, and now Jimmy Kimmel is coming back. Can I get your reaction?
I don't care because I don't watch Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like. He's just really not funny, and he hasn't been funny for years and years and years. Not since he did the Man Show. But you couldn't do the
Mm.
Man Show today. My God, imagine that. Wow, there'd be a cancellation for you. You know, but that gets down to the huge hypocrisy of this whole thing. Like I'm in all these arguments with people who say, "Oh, the right is now just, they're just embracing cancel culture." It's like, no, no, no. What has happened now, and it's a very helpful thing, is that the left made a whole set of rules. They made a whole set of rules that were really stupid, and they enforced them on everybody else, but not themselves. Around words of violence and speech is murder and all this sort of crap. And now it's like Trump is turning it around on them, and they're being forced to abide by the rules that they set for everybody else. And so I'm like, well, why is this a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. This is actually like, really, really good. Maybe they'll stop now, but my fear is that, of course, when they do eventually come back to power, which they will, they're going to say, "Oh, hey, let's go harder." So Jimmy Kimmel is like he doesn't mean anything in the course of this much bigger sort of debate.
No, I agree with you there. James Morrow, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. Brilliant to speak with you.
Thanks, Gab.